Hey everybody, it's Amy B, and as promised, we are doing an afternoon session of agent hacks today. And today I'm going over the 12-week year, an amazing, very interesting book that provided a lot of fuel and food for thought that I wanted to share with you guys. I recently read this book and it took me less than 24 hours to read it, which is kind of crazy because I'm not that great of a reader of physical books, but I was really engaged with this book. And so if I'm going to give you a bunch of information today. I'm going to tell you everything that I learned that I thought was amazing and give you additional direction as to where you can go with different tools and ideas that came from this book if you want to expand on it. I love the idea of a 12-week year. It really compresses the information that you need to focus on for a short period of time. And the reason why I love it is because in this modern age of technology and opportunity just left and right, I feel like it's too hard to commit to a whole year. And new ideas, new suggestions come up, new tools, like Facebook Live comes up, or different tools that pop up that you could take advantage of. It's easier to bite out in a bite-sized piece. So I love this idea. Previously, before I started using the 12-week year, I did the 1-3-5 or the GPS, and I did that for 5 or 6 years. And it was really effective. I see this being a shorter GPS. It's still a really simple, focused way to business plan. However, it's a lot shorter. It's not annualized thinking. So I have to give credit to a couple of people for introducing me to this book. And that's just what people do when they're grateful for learning things. And there's actually a great quote in this book that I'll share with you later. But Jackie Bowman is a coach with the National Coaching League, which is run by Hank Avink, and that's the group that I'm associated with for my courses. And Jackie has taken it upon herself to put together a program or a course, and I'm in that course, and I'm also doing this with my team on a one-on-one level. So I'm really happy to have been encouraged to read this book, and so I just want to pay it forward and encourage other people and share with you what I learned. So as I was going through this book, I just highlighted things that I thought were like connecting with me, and I think they'll connect with you. So really what this video is about is me going through my notes, and then I'm sharing my notes. So literally just pulled right out of the book the most important things that I found. I typed them up in a document so that I can have them quick reference and you can have them quick reference. So all you have to do is go to the comment or the post, and it says, get the Cliff Notes I created here, www.amyb.com/12-week year book report. And then you can get the book. I put a link to the book up there too if you'd like to get the book. And so hopefully this is helpful for you guys. So I'm going to get right into the content. I'm going to do a lot of reading and a little bit of talking in between. So Jason, thank you so much. I am not a quick reader. In fact, I repeated the second grade because of my reading skills. And the second year I took it, I was a pro. But I'm not that confident of a reader, and I consider myself just an average person in general. But when you partner with above average people, it really raises your level, it raises your game. So I'm hoping to do that for you guys too. All right, so I can't tell who's on unless you comment. So I would love to know who's watching. There's a bunch of people on. Just comment 12-week year. Comment on any of the things that I'm saying that resonate with you. Make sure that you put comments in the feed so that that raises the awareness of this live post and the value of this post to other people on lead gen, scripts, and objections. Okay. So what we have here is the 12-week year. And here's the first thing that kind of popped out at me. It said, the marketplace only rewards those ideas that get implemented. Okay. If you know me very well, you know that implement now, perfect later is kind of my motto. I have it posted everywhere, and I constantly have to remind myself of that. So this is my first book report that I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to go well or not, but I know that if I do it, I'm going to learn from it. And maybe some of you guys will give me some suggestions of what I can do better, and then I can do it better the next time. But if we don't jump into action and take action, that's what Jackie always says, take action, you're not going to ever get anywhere. And I cannot wait to share with you all the things that I've learned in this book. It says you can be smart, you can have access to lots of information and great ideas. You can be well-connected, work hard, have lots of natural talent, but in the end, you have to execute. Execution is the single greatest market differentiator. Great companies and successful individuals execute better than their competition. The barrier standing between you and the life you're capable of living is lack of consistent execution. This is the truth. Another agent is going to take these ideas and execute. What are you going to do with them? The last book report I did, when I didn't officially call it a book report, was the suggestion that everybody read The One Word That Will Change Your Life over Thanksgiving. If you did that, I'd love for you to post what your one word is and type one word and then give me your word. That book just really helps you focus in on one word. And I'll have to admit to you, I believe my one word is consistent for this year. And consistent execution is highly, highly, you'll see success when you have consistent execution. So taking it from there, those are two great words. So they told this story in the book, and they said that there was this company of insurance agents, and there was this really top guy that year after year after year, he was the top guy, and all the other salespeople would ask him for a few minutes of his time and want to know what he was doing to stay top producer year after year. And so he would always make time for them. He would always sit down with them and share what he was doing. And ultimately, do you know how many people replicated his success? Not a single one. He now refuses to share his secret because no one follows through with what he teaches them. He got so frustrated by that. And I have to tell you that people that come from that abundance perspective and want to share ideas and tools with others. I do this in my listing course. I do this in my buyer course. The thing that they want most is to see that you're actually implementing the tools and changing your life and your business. When you don't do that, it's very frustrating for those people. And then they just stop wasting their valuable time sharing those tools with you. So tell me when you share these tools or when you use them and have wins. Henry Ford said, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. So just do it. Take action, right? And another quote on page 12, there's nothing like a deadline to get you motivated. I can tell you that this has been one of the best little tricks to getting me into action. Earlier this year, I got a lot of requests to do a buyer course after the success of my listing course. And I drug my feet and I drug my feet and I drug my feet. And finally, I just set a date. October 18th was the date. I was launching the course. The first round was happening and I was going live. And I made it happen. I gave myself about 6 weeks time and it's done. It's over. It's created. It's now selling. It's doing great. But until I set that date and held myself accountable and put that date out there, I was dragging my feet and I wasn't taking action. So you have to set a date for yourself, and I promise you your momentum will take you through. It says the number one thing that you will have to sacrifice to be great, to achieve what you are capable of, and to execute your plans is your comfort. The secret to living your life to its potential is to value the important stuff above your own comfort. I know you guys have seen the memes and the quotes about everything you want is right outside your comfort zone. And nothing great is ever easy or comfortable. It also goes on to talk a lot about vision, and it says, without a compelling vision, you will discover that there's no reason to go through the pain of change. Vision is the starting point of all high performance. You create things twice, first mentally and then physically. The biggest barrier to high performance is not the physical manifestation, but the mental creation. You will never outpace your mental models. Vision is the first place where you engage your thinking about what is possible for you. And I can tell you that great athletes like Michael Phelps is a visualizer. Tiger Woods is a visualizer. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, was a visualizer. I have been a visualizer since I can remember. I didn't even know what it was. And I read it in a book and realized that's what I was doing when I was in college. It says you can literally train your brain to act on your vision just by thinking about it. The first step, though, is creating an inspiring vision and learning how to stay connected with it. All right, so this is my book report that I'm going to share with you. It's like 6 pages, guys, so this is going to be a while. I'm going to read fast, and I'm going to get through this. Thanks, Tressa, for being here. Thanks, Tanya, Jason. Okay. If you are not in control of your time, you are not in control of your results. I just sat through a day-long time blocking, what did he call it? Time blocking, like day, a whole day, a conference or whatever. It was on Zoom on Friday with Hank. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I found out that I knew half of the stuff. The other stuff was just reinforcement. And I found out that a lot of people in there were hearing this stuff for the first time. You've got to invest in yourself and invest in your mind. And again, if you're not in control of your time, you are not in control of your results. And as Hank always says, show me your schedule and I'll show you your income. All right. The key to successful time use, the key to successful time is use intentional time versus time use. It's not trying to. Okay, the key to successful time, use intentional time, is not trying to eliminate these unplanned interruptions. Okay, so it's talking about planned and unplanned interruptions, and it says, block out regular time each week dedicated to your strategically important tasks. We call this performance time and find that it is the best approach to effectively allocating time that we have ever encountered. It utilizes a simple time blocking system to regain control of your day and maximize your effectiveness. So it recommends actually 3 different blocks of time. And if you do these 3 blocks of time every week, you'll see productivity go through the roof. Hey, Francisco. All right, first thing, strategic blocks. 3 hours of uninterrupted time once a week for strategic money-making activities. These are projects that you know are going to change your effectiveness or bring you in more money. Then there's buffer blocks. This is 30 to 60 minutes once or twice a day where you deal with unplanned low-value activities like returning phone calls, emails, checking messages, doing kind of follow-up kind of stuff. And then there are breakout blocks. This is something new that I learned. Breakout blocks are 3 hours spent on things other than work or business during business hours to refresh and reinvigorate your mind so that you return engaged and with more focus and energy. This is important. You don't have to do it every week, but they do recommend that this is important for you to just unplug, clear your mind. And I know Lindsay Joy was talking about this last week sometime about just the concept of clearing your mind, maybe a little bit of meditation or just thinking and having quiet time to think and scheduling time to think. We also talked about that in that 365 time management summit on Friday. Chapter 8 is very powerful. A commitment is a personal promise. A commitment is a personal promise. Keeping your promises to others builds trust and strong relationships. And keeping promises to yourself builds character, esteem, and success. Think about what happens when you don't keep promises to your kids. Do they start not believing in you? It's not good. So do your clients. They hear your promises, and if you're not following through, they start to not trust you and disregard your word. When we commit to something, we do things that we would not ordinarily do. The question of if goes away, and the only question you ask now is how. Commitment is powerful, but there are times when all of us struggle to commit. The 4 keys to commitment are that you have a strong desire, you have a keystone action, you count the cost and understand what that means, and we'll go into that, and then you act on commitments, not feelings. So what does count the cost mean? I pulled this out because, Hank always says you can pay the price or you can pay the cost, whichever one you want. And I pulled this out because I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the cost. Commitments require sacrifice. In any effort, there are benefits and costs. Too often we claim to commit to something without considering the cost, the hardships that will have to be overcome to accomplish your desire. Costs can include time, money, risk, uncertainty, loss of comfort, and so on. Identify the cost before you commit allows you to consciously choose whether you are willing to pay the price. This is key. If you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So if you're saying no to something, that yes better be damn good, depending on what you're saying no to, right? So you have to identify what is the cost and what is the price you pay for that. When you face any of those costs, it's extremely helpful to recognize that you anticipated them and decided that reaching your goal was worth it. That's commitment. That's another really great word for the new year. Execution, commitment, consistency. So common pitfalls for vision is that you don't take the power of vision seriously. A lot of high D personalities or type A personalities tend to think that having vision, taking the time to understand your vision is not worth it. Trust me, every massively successful person takes time to visualize what they want their life to be. You have to set the time aside to visualize. The vision isn't meaningful to you. That's another pitfall. Your vision is too small, or you don't connect your vision to your daily actions. That's if it's not on your schedule, it's not happening. You've got to have your vision in your daily actions and be following through on those. All right, so some success tips with vision. This is a great one, guys. Share your vision with others. So that's accountability. And if you know other people that are reading this book, or if you decide after this lovely video that you want to read this book and you want to have a partner, an accountability partner, then share your vision with them. Stay in touch with your vision. This means just thinking about it every day, or having a board on the wall or something that you want to look at. Honestly, guys, I thought the vision board was a silly thing and I resisted it for so long. And then I made one a year ago. I was forced to make one, and this is just what my vision board looks like, and it's a 10-year vision board. And it's amazing to me how many of these things already in the first year to 18 months have absolutely been started or come true so quickly just by looking at that every day and knowing what my goals are and where I want to be in 10 years. There are some team planning steps in the book on page 102 that I love, and it talks about going through the process with your team collectively as a group. Another quote, what most often keeps you from being exceptional is not a lack of time, but the way you allocate the time that you have. That's prioritizing your time. You know, I think it was Susie Orman. She's like one of those finance gurus, and she always says, pay yourself first, pay yourself first. Well, if time is money, you have to pay yourself first. And that includes focusing on your vision, making sure that you're doing the most dollar productive activities in the beginning of the day and make them a priority. If you're not doing that, then you're wasting your time doing the $10 an hour work that's never going to get you to where you want to go. All right, so the next page, 5 steps on page 134, 5 steps, let's see here. these are the 5 steps that the book suggests that you do in order to make your 12-week plan, and how to set it up, the different things that need to be a part of those activities in your plan. From there, we have page 136 is strategic block. So remember, we talked about the blocks of time. Strategic block was that 3 hour of time once a week. Here's the thing. I teach this course called Sell 100% of Your Listings, and it's a 7-week course, and every week there's homework and there's implementation. Most of the time people can't keep up with it because it's a lot of stuff, right? But it's everything I know that's going to get you from A to Z to sell all your listings. If people would just prioritize like the following 12 weeks, 3 hours a week just to implement this stuff, I swear to you, their business would be totally different, totally amazing. But it's the dragging of the feet in response to the implementation and the overwhelming feeling of all the things that need to be done, right? So take it in 12-week increments and find the most important things and get them done. Just 12 weeks, and then move on to the next thing and the next thing. And it's so much more productive. So for example, this strategic block talks with reconnecting with your vision, review your 12-week year, assess performance, work on plan tactics, and then the buffer block. Review and respond to email, listen to voicemail, make outbound calls, follow up on to-do lists, take quick meetings with staff or team members, organize file work, identify any new to-do items. I mean, I just find it helpful to have examples of what people are doing in those time blocks. The next thing mentioned, this book is on Audible. I really think you need the physical book. There's so much in here. I do take copies of the pages that you need. However, I just think it's just a really good book to have. Given the value and limited supply of time, it is interesting that almost all of us have difficulty spending it as effective as we would like to. Many clients we work with, driven by the natural desire to earn revenue whenever the opportunity arises, just like realtors, will discard their pre-planned schedule without a second thought to accommodate the requests of prospects and clients. They do this repeatedly, seemingly without regard to the long-term impact of their business. In effect, the time that could be spent building their own future is instead spent on building someone else's. So if you don't protect your schedule, you will be building somebody else's business and opportunities because you'll be doing things for them and not you first. Just like if you don't pay yourself first with your money, you'll never have a reserve or a savings or a retirement. You'll always be trying to catch up on the bills, right? So you got to pay yourself first in time and in money. All right. Think about this. People earning $1 million per year aren't working 10 times harder than people earning $100,000. How about that? People making $1 million are not working 10 times harder than somebody making 100,000. In fact, they are often working less, but they're working differently. The fact is, you will not reach a breakthrough if you're not willing to change how you currently allocate your time. To get different results, you will have to do things differently and do different things. It's kind of like they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If you want change in your life, you have to be the start of the change. Like the Man in the Mirror song from Michael Jackson. You have to start the change, and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable so that long term you're going to be more comfortable. Chapter 18 is really powerful as well. It's called Taking Action. Be willing to take different actions. If you want different results, then you need to be willing to do things differently and do different things. So the author mentioned a guy named Lou Casera, who is the author of From Selling to Serving. And he says, if you want something you don't currently have, you need to do something you're not currently doing. Do you want to double your income? Well, you're going to have to change everything that you're doing in order to do that. All right. Taking action will not only change your outcomes, it will also change your attitude. I found that when I'm feeling discouraged, one of the quickest ways to change my outlook is by taking action. I know somebody in our 36 to Life group that I'm a part of mentioned the recovery time and how to get out of a slump. Take action and give gratitude. That's the fastest way to get out of it. Another really great quote, and this comes from the beginning of my time with you, where I said that I'm an average person, but when I surround myself with above average people, it brings me up, right? He who walks with the wise grows wise. Who you associate with matters. Do not associate with negative Nancys or people that tell you can't do things. Follow people who give you encouragement and empowerment and help you. I love the culture that we have in the National Coaching League and with the different programs that are associated with that, and just bringing each other up and continuing to support and encourage each other. There's too much negativity in this world. We don't need that from our colleagues. There's a commitment exercise on page 160, and basically it takes you through the process of creating your 12-week year. Right there, identifying actions, understanding what costs are, what you're giving up by doing what you have to focus on and visualize, that kind of thing. Whew, that was a lot. 26 minutes. That was the 12-week year. The 12-week year is so much more than what I just shared with you. I'm hopeful that you were intrigued by some of the things that you heard, and it causes you to pick the book up and really read it cover to cover. The 12-week year encourages you to visualize your 3- and 5-year goals. And that's really hard for a lot of people to do. It was really hard for me to make that 10-year vision board. But what I know is that when you have a vision for the future, you're more likely to get there. Even if it's a wild vision that you think is crazy. Like I have a house in Hawaii on there. I love Hawaii. If I get a house in Florida, I'm going to be thrilled as anything, right? But it's getting you closer to that goal each step along the way. And you know, we do that by chunking things down and really focusing on some basic 1 or 2 things every 12 weeks. And if we do 1 or 2 things every 12 weeks, by the end of the year, we're going to have 8 to 12 things that we've accomplished, which I'm going to bet you is more than you accomplish in a year when you spread it out over 12 months, right? So let me know what you think about the book. Make sure you go on and grab my Cliffs Notes. All you have to do is go to that link, type in your name and email, and it's going to send you an email with the copy of the Cliffs Notes. It's also going to send you a link to my YouTube page where this video will eventually be posted in the next 24 hours so that you can go back and watch it on YouTube. And feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. If you have any other questions, just reach out. Let us know in the comments what you thought. If you have done the 1-word year, put your word in there. If you're intrigued by the 12-week year, type in 12-week year. And I'd love to hear what your takeaways were from this. I love it when you guys PM me after I do a video and you want to share what you took away or your word or, you know, your 12-week plan. Again, I love this idea. And it's simple. It keeps everything focused. And I'm really excited to do this year. I'm actually, you know, going to start off in January, just nice and easy with it. All right. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, just reach out and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.